Hi, I'm Carol.
Hi, I'm Nina.
Welcome to Nurse Practitioners Changing Practice. We are so happy you are with us for another episode today. We've got some interesting topics to talk about. It's turning winter, right?
Yeah.
And so during the winter time, my family will always put in their order for elderberry syrup.
Hmm.
Um,
What is that? Tell
so
me about that, Carol.
So elderberry syrup is really neat, and it kind of goes back a little ways. About 12 years ago, when I was in Branson, I was attending a NP conference. I think it was the Ozark NPs or something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
And
That's
we
in
were
that's in
we were
Missouri. That's in
yeah, and we
Missouri.
were
Yeah.
like on the chateau of the lake, and it was just
Yeah.
beautiful. And I love going there. And we had a speaker who just enchanted me with her wisdom and all that she brought with it. Her name was Dr. Tierney Lodog. And
Hmm.
she had a fascinating story. She said she started, she's a Native American. And
Mm-hmm.
so she learned the art of herbs from a child, from her grandmother.
Sure.
And she practiced that for years and years and years. And she got into taekwondo. I think it was taekwondo. She got into midwife. She became a midwife.
Mhm.
And then at some point, she said, I needed to expand my knowledge because I was limited. And she went back and got her medical degree. So she
Wow.
became a medical doctor. And what I loved about that was because for me, and I don't know how you feel, but when you have a patient who comes in and they've got all these med lists and they're taking all this stuff over the counter, I mean, Hippocrates, unless you buy the upgraded version, doesn't really
Right.
give you interaction checkers
No,
for those natural things.
no.
And you don't necessarily know, we do know, like, oh, if I take St. John's wort with some things, it can cause interactions.
Right.
So you don't feel like you have enough of a knowledge base to prescribe or tell people about what to take or what not to take.
I totally agree. And I also know unless you ask the right question several times when you take a history, that patients don't think herbs are medicine. And so you have to actually say, taking any, herbal supplements, things you're taking over the counter, I need to know about those. Because like you said, if you don't, I mean, a lot of times we don't know that they're taking something over the counter, especially herbal supplements. And then there's interactions, or maybe it's presenting with other symptoms and causing complications in their, in the medical situation. I mean, it's so important to know all of that.
I just feel like our my education anyway
Mhm.
needed to be boosted in that area. Some of the things I learned from that particular conference was a lot. I remember what stood out to me was vitamin A and
Mhm.
being very careful with uh people who are pregnant, that you
Yes.
could not go over 10,000 international units. And one of the things, in fact, she said, if you don't remember anything but that, remember that, because it's harmful for the fetus. And she showed us how easy it was to buy over the counter vitamin A, and
Uh-huh.
it could easily be over 10,000 international units.
Or if they're taking multiple like combined
Yeah,
supplements,
prenatal
right?
vitamin and something
Yeah.
else.
And
They could.
something else.
So I really began to follow her, and I'm going to share my screen in a minute. We'll look at her website. But she also introduced me to elderberry syrup. And what
Oh,
elderberry
what's
syrup
that?
is
Elderberry syrup, huh?
it's a beautiful plant. It grows as a bush and it gets little tiny berries on it. And I get mine through well, I mountain, I'll show you the site, but it's a Mountain Rose herb place where you can order herbs, and it's on her website because I wanted to get the kind that were grown right,
Yes.
and they were organic and everything. So I usually get a big bag of that, and then what you do is you get honey, and you get cinnamon sticks and cardamom pods, and
Uh-huh.
you make this syrup. You boil the berries for
Uh-huh.
20 minutes because you don't want to boil away. Just eating them
Yes.
is toxic.
Oh,
But if you boil it, it boils all that out, right?
okay.
And I boil it with the cardamom pods and the cinnamon and the cloves, so it has a little bit of a better
Flavor.
taste to it. I love my son. He'll say, Mom, it smells like dirty shoe in here. It does have, it smells like kind of like dirty shoe. And then I strain that juice. It'll work its way down to like a small amount. And I strain it through a cheese strainer.
Okay.
Right. And I mix that juice with honey. 1 or 2 cups of honey, and you blend it all together. And I have enough to make enough bottles for all of my children. Now,
wow. Now, what does that do? What does elderberry syrup do?
So it's an antiviral and antibacterial. And if you look it up, you'll find research that actually shows that it is effective for the flu as Tamiflu. Now, if you've ever tried Tamiflu, Tamiflu makes you really sick to your stomach.
Yes, it does.
And sometimes parents have even refused to give it to their kids because it really gives them a
or they
sick
stop
stomach.
taking it. They don't take the full, like an adult may not take the full dose.
Where this doesn't do that. It actually settles your stomach, and then you get over the flu 10 times faster.
Wow.
In fact, if you start feeling sick, you start taking it like 2 or 3 times a day, a teaspoon, and you start feeling until you start feeling better, and you'll just start feeling better. It has antiviral and antibacterial properties. And they did do research like comparisons with Tamiflu. And so for the flu, I know it's pretty effective at helping you out, but I've found it for myself for GI upset. Like if I start feeling sick to my stomach, or like I'm going to get diarrhea, for me, that's helped a lot. I've also, my son has stopped by on his way to work because they ran out, and he wanted to take some because he started feeling better. And if your kids in their 30s are stopping by, to get, something to make them feel better, that it's working. They wouldn't do it if it wasn't working. So that's my Christmas gift to them every year, is a nice new bottle of elderberry syrup. You can take it prophylactically, like once.
Yeah, that was what I want to know. Can you take it prophylactically?
Yep.
Like, they have the products that, what's the products that people take to like with the vitamin C and zinc to
I know what you're talking about. Like, the zinc,
airborne, airborne,
and stuff like that,
to help their immune system. It kind of reminds me in that vein what you're talking
I put it in the refrigerator, and the recipe I like is Dr. Low Dog's the best. It tastes for me, but she'll tell you experiment with it. Put a little bit of orange peel in there, a little orange, or make it to where you can experiment to make the flavors better. And she's got a video which I'm going to show you. We'll also upload that. We're going to upload that video to our website. So you can click on our podcast, or you can listen to how to make elderberry syrup. But let me share my screen and show you what she has on her site that I just love.
So does she have resources on there, or is it just that you can take classes? She actually has resources on her site.
Has resources as well as classes. Let's see.
And if somebody's listening, what's the site? What's the site, Carol?
This is where you go to Tierney. Just put in Low Dog, LOWDOGMD.
Dr. Low Dog, just how it sounds. Dr. Low Dog. Okay.
Right. It's Tierney Low Dog. And if you're on YouTube, you can see it. I think you can see it, right?
Yeah.
So here she has her blog. So in her blog, she gives you all kinds of things, how to boost your immune system this winter. And if you go in there, she's written about vitamin D and what does vitamin D do and how to take it, and what dosages to take it. And she gives the sources like the Endocrine Society. So you get that science base. That's what I
want too. Yeah, I want the evidence-based evidence to support it.
Soothing digestive woes naturally. How many of our patients are on PPIs?
Oh, I would love to know about that.
And you think about it, we put them on PPIs and they're on PPIs forever.
Oh, and it's not good. It's not good to keep somebody.
Taking away their vitamin B12.
Yeah.
If our stomach was supposed to be low acid, it would naturally be a low acid, but it's not,
It's just not good after a couple months in primary care to keep anybody on a PPI. It's just not a good idea.
So you can go through all of these different things, migraine headaches, how many of us have that. She talks about things like resiliency.
Yeah, that's great.
Adaptogens. Now, adaptogens are really cool. Adaptogens actually help us fight cancer, fight, lots of, they help our cells. They're just, and she'll talk about the I never say it right, ashwagandha. And so this helps to lower stress and cortisol, improve our sleep quality, ginseng, bacopa, all of these things. So you can read all of this, and then you can get on her email list, which I would tell you as an NP really gives you a lot of things to help your patients in a supportive way.
Yes. Yes.
We do have our powerful Western drugs, but sometimes we don't need all that power.
Right. And we want to know what our patients are taking to educate them about what they're taking, and if there's any interactions of what we want to prescribe them, if we want to prescribe them something, or maybe it's interfering, for their health in ways that they don't know about. But they're looking to us, and this information is just very powerful.
And I have gotten most of her books. She's got Fortify Your Life, Healthy at Home. And this one I really liked because it had a lot of get well and stay well without prescriptions. What she would say is that most of the things we go to the doctor for, which are minor colds, things that are minor, they're not major, we could probably treat with things that we have in our own kitchen.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
And she gives you recipes.
And not give so much antibiotics if patients don't need antibiotics.
Right. And we'll help to decrease the antibiotic resistance and all of that. Life is your best medicine.
Now, we're not saying patients may not need antibiotics. We're not saying that. We're just saying that we, in the US, we overprescribe antibiotics, and the antibiotic resistance is, continues to be.
Well, sometimes they're not needed. We're giving antibiotics.
Sometimes they're not needed, even if patients ask for it and we know it's viral. Supportive care is.
And all of her books are reasonable. They're like $10, $12, $15, maybe $20. It's nothing big right now. Study with Tierney is what I have done. I have taken her. She has an herbal medicine making mini course. It's free.
Oh yeah.
You can get your, just get your feet wet and see, do you like it? Right. And then they have one that shows you a little bit more, and you get so many things. Like for me, one of the things that I found, have you ever had a patient that gets cold sores often?
Yes.
Well, what you do is you get licorice, a root. It's licorice root, and you can order it from this mountain rose herb place or any reputable place, and you soak it in vodka for 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, and you turn it over and shake it. Then you strain it, and you have this licorice root tincture.
Okay.
And it's almost like magic, because the minute you feel like a little tingle on your lip, you just dab it right there, and it like goes away.
It really helps. Wow.
I mean, it just goes away. So it's like you don't need the acyclovir, and all of that.
That's amazing. That's something we all should try.
And it's topical. Right. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. It's really, so that, I got that out of that particular course. I got a lot of things there that help with that. A lot of teas, things like that to help you sleep, help you relax. If you're trying to get pregnant, to boost your, hormones, things like that.
Wonderful.
Life is your best medicine. I took that course. That was a little bit about stress and, nutrition, things that will help you with that. And I'm currently now taking the Foundations in Herbal Medicine. This course is a 9-month residency program kind of course that really is designed for providers to learn about the pharmacology of herbs and how to make them and how to use them.
That's fascinating.
Safely with your patients. That's a whole different thing. And then she has these little intensive courses where you can go visit her on the lodge. And you can actually go and harvest the herbs and make them at her ranch and learn and talk to her one-on-one. So this is a little bit about Tierney. What I wanted to do, I see, where is it? I wanted to take you to her. Let me type this in. Dr. Tierney Low Dog Elderberry Syrup. She does have a YouTube video, and there it is. I'm just going to start it for a second. It's about 12 minutes.
So we can post this on our site, right?
Can you hear her?
Nope.
Basic elderberry syrup. You know, the winter months are coming along, and one of the questions I get asked a lot are there things that I
So this, you can see her here, right?
Yes.
So this is her. This is in her medicine
This is
lodge.
in YouTube, guys, if you're listening.
Mhm, it's on YouTube. We are going to post this link on our website so that you can go and watch her, and she gives the recipe in the video. So you
That's
can,
wonderful.
yeah, you can write it down and you can make elderberry syrup. It costs actually $25 or more at your natural food stores.
Oh, wow. So
Okay.
this is something you can make that really even is a cost savings, right? How much are the elderberry?
The elderberry, the bag is about $20 to get a 2-pound bag of elderberry.
Okay.
And then the honey, but I
Yeah.
figured it out that for me to make elderberry syrup for my whole family, which is about 8 pints, you know, I just get like those canning pint jars.
Yes. Yes.
And fill it up with that, and fill about 8 pints of it. It costs me about $30, and I have 8 jars, so I can give it to everybody. And 1 jar will last the whole winter.
Wow.
Absolutely. And I mean, then there's other things like echinacea. I make echinacea syrup that is antiviral. So that is if you start feeling just under the weather, you can take a little bit of elderberry and echinacea mixed together, and it's just really you know, sometimes it just gets you better, you know, within a few days, and you don't have to take the antibiotics.
I think that's wonderful.
So
wow, what tremendous knowledge.
Just some cool things.
Yeah, tremendous knowledge that you were learning. Maybe we can get her to come on our podcast at some point. That would be wonderful.
All right. So I think that we can wrap it up. We will talk with you next week, and we thank you guys for coming.
Yes, stay well.
All right. Bye, guys.